Hi my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I have a huge stack of books. Look at how many books there are. And what we're gonna be doing today is setting up my TBR cart as well as my TBR jar so that I can start picking out my prompts for January. But as of right now, I just have one big bookshelf with all of the books that I haven't read yet, and it's too much. I wanted something that was more concise with like stuff that I specifically would want to read for the upcoming months. So I'm gonna use this smaller bookshelf behind me to pick out my most anticipated reads and start organizing them. So I'm gonna get started because I'm terrified this thing is gonna fall over if I don't hold on to it. So let's do that. Okay, so I guess we'll start off kind of by genre and go from there. I kind of have them stacked in somewhat of an order, but there's also a lot of more books scattered around me. So yeah, we're gonna start with this. A lot of these are also for my 26 books for 2026 video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it in the cards above, but it's basically all the books that I want to make sure I prioritize in 2026. So that's why there's this many. Okay, so starting off, we have Sally Rooney, which I've read a couple of Sally Rooney books. I read Normal People and another one that I can't even remember the name of. But I have Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You, and Intermezzo. I'll be honest, I don't know much about these books. I bought them mainly because I know a lot about the author. So I'm gonna leave these on the side for right now and just keep on going until things start to feel like I'm excited. Next, we have Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I also put her on my 26 books for 2026 video. I want to get into more of her books because I've heard so many good things about her. So I have One True Love, Daisy Jones and the Six, Malibu Rising, and Carrie Soto Is Back. These all give me summer vibes for some reason, especially like the more romance leaning ones, and like Malibu Rising, that's summer. So I think what I'm gonna do for now, if I were to get a prompt that would align with one of her books, I would want it to be Daisy Jones and the Six. So I think I'm gonna put that one on my TBR bookshelf first, just because I know this one is like a 60s, 70s vibes, and I feel like for winter, coming out of fall, that is more the vibe. These are all so summer. Next, I have Emily Henry. Look at how many Emily Henry books I still have to read. Oh my gosh. So I have Book Lovers, People We Meet on Vacation, Beach Read, Happy Place, and Great Big Beautiful Life, which I think I've heard really good things about Great Big Beautiful Life. So I'm gonna put that one for sure on this, but I think the rest are just so summery. So I'm gonna put them to the side for now as well. Okay, so Great Big Beautiful Life, you're getting rest there for now. Next, we have the ever divisive A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I'm gonna try to read this at some point, so this is gonna go on here because I feel like this could kind of go into any season, but especially for the fall and winter. Maybe this should be read in the summer because it's so depressing. You kind of need the sunlight, you know, to get through it. Ooh, but I'm gonna put it on there. It's gonna go on there. Next, we have Summer in the City. The title says it alone. So for now, I'm gonna put it on the side. A lot of these are gonna end up on here. I'm just wanting to prioritize the other ones first. Next, we have House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I have heard such good things about this book. Everybody says that it's so magical and like pleasant. I get the sense that it gives you that really strong magical realism vibe. So the back says, a magical island, a dangerous task, a burning secret. Linus Baker is by the book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with the devious cat and his old records for company. Oh my gosh, it's so cozy already. But his quiet life is about to change. Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment: travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. That's all I need to read. This is for sure going on the TBR card. Next up, we have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I have been wanting to read this for so long. I just love the idea of if you were to go in a library where you were able to look at all of your different life choices and see them play out and see what you would choose, what would you do? I love that. Between life and death, there is a library. Up until now, Nora Seed's life has been full of misery and regret. She feels she has let everyone down, including herself. But things are about to change. When she finds herself in the Midnight Library, she has a chance to make things right. The books in the Midnight Library enable Nora to live as if she had done things differently. Each one contains a different life, a possible world in which she made different choices that played out in an infinite number of ways, affecting everyone she knew as well as many people she never met. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, next we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Never have read a V.E. Schwab book. Want to start with this one so badly. It's about a girl who is cursed to never die, essentially. And actually, when I finished reading that the first time, I ended up thinking about Age of Adeline. Are these related? The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and that movie Age of Adeline. Why are they so similar? It sounds like the same plot and they have like the same name. So I was wondering if there's a connection there. But anyway, this is definitely gonna go on the TBR cart. I've been wanting to get to this, and I actually ended up getting this at a free little library. I was so excited when I saw this. So next we have Frederick Bachman's books. I have Beartown and The Winners here, and I didn't really know this was a part of a trilogy, that this is a series. So I have to get the one in between, which I think is like Us Against You or something like that. But I can at least start the series now, and if I like it, I can continue. So these are definitely going on the cart, as well as Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I've heard so many good things about his writing, and it's time for me to do it. This one is also like such a small read. This is so quick and easy. Next, we have Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. This one was also on my 26 books for 2026 video. So I know for sure this has to go on there because I want to prioritize this. I'm pretty sure this one has been a TV show, right? Pretty sure this one was adapted into a TV show. So I definitely want to read this one. Let's take a look, because a lot of these ones are straight up just yeses. Like, now we're getting to the part where they're all pretty much gonna be going on the cart. Let's start off with Greek mythology. I have Stoneblind by Natalie Haynes, Ariadne by Jennifer Saint, and Clytemnestra by Costanza Casati. Look at how pretty that cover is. All three of these are going on the TBR cart. Do I know what any of them are about? No, I don't. I do know Stoneblind is about Medusa's story. And then the other ones are just straight up the names of these characters in Greek mythology, and I just don't really know their history. So I'm kind of going into some of them blind, but I'm okay with that because I've decided I like Greek mythology after, dare I say it again, I've read Madeline Miller. I'm gonna be a broken record about Madeline Miller. So yeah, all three of these are going on there. Just to really drive my point home, I've mentioned I'm not a rereader, and I did purchase Song of Achilles with the sprayed edges because I've decided I'm gonna do a series where I do reread my 5-star like all-time read, low-key my 6-star reads. So this is gonna be one eventually that I reread, and I wanna study it as I go, so I'll be annotating it, of course, and then sharing with you like what I've learned about the prose or the story beats, the character arcs. I really just wanna take my time with books that touched me and learn from the authors that I want to aspire to be like one day. So just to let you know, that will be happening sometime in 2026. Next, we have The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. This one is set in North Carolina on a flower farm, and I think it's some sort of a mystery. It's been a year since June started seeing and hearing things that aren't there. Faint wind chimes, a voice calling her name, and a mysterious door appearing out of nowhere. Signs of what June has always known is coming, but June is determined to end the curse once and for all, even if she must sacrifice the hope of love and family of her own. So it's like giving mystery magical realism vibes, and set in North Carolina on a flower farm. If you know me, if you know anything about me, that sounds like perfection. Next, we have The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. This was also in my 26 books video. This is following a character named Anne, and it's basically a story about if Jesus had a wife, what her life would have looked like. And I cannot wait to read this one. This is definitely going on the TBR. Next up, we have my Kristen Hanna reads, The Nightingale and the Women. I'm just looking forward to these so much. Both of these are definitely going on the cart. The Women follows the women from the Vietnam War, like the nurses who went over and served and essentially came back and were unsung heroes. So I'm really excited to read this. And then I'm pretty sure, if I remember, this one is set in France that is occupied by Germany. And I think it follows like two sisters or something like that. And both of them are historical fiction, which I mentioned I want to read a lot more historical fiction in 2026. So I'm definitely putting both of these on the cart. So we finally have enough space where I can like sit in the center of the frame. Next, we have fantasy. All of these are gonna be going on the cart. This one is the one I'm the most intimidated by, Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, but I have to do it. I've just heard it's so good. It's the size of my head. This book will never not intimidate me, but I have to read it. ASMR. Next, we have Divine Rivals, which everybody knows about, by Rebecca Ross. It's a duology. I have both of them. I'm just gonna put the first one on here for now. But this one is about two journalists who are rivaling each other at a journalism company, but they end up falling in love. So I've heard that it's a really sweet read and that it's just super popular. So I definitely want to read this one. Next, I have Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This is becoming a movie series, which I'm super excited about. This is probably the book I've had on my TBR cart for the longest. And I am ashamed to admit it because I know it's really good. And it's a fantasy set in a world inspired by Africa. So I'm so excited to read this one. I think it's just two, maybe it's 3 books, but I have 2 of them, but I think it's a trilogy. Okay, I'm actually really excited about this one. I don't know why I was under the impression that this book might be a good comp for the book that I'm writing. This is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, or maybe it's another book by this author. This one says Opal is a lot of things: orphan, high school dropout, full-time cynic, and part-time cashier, but above all, she's determined to find a better life for her younger brother Jasper, one that gets them out of Eden, Kentucky, a town remarkable for only 2 things: bad luck and East Starling, the reclusive 19th century author of The Underland, who disappeared over 100 years ago. All she left behind were dark rumors and her home. Opal has been obsessed with the Underland since she was a child. When she gets the chance to step inside Starling House and make some extra cash for her brother's escape fund, she can't resist. But sinister forces are digging deeper into the buried secrets of Starling House. As Eden itself seems to be drowning in its own ghosts, Opal realizes that she might have finally found the reason to stick around. Uh-oh. This sounds like a horror. I just said that I can't read horrors because I'm too scared. They affect me mentally too much. Oh well. It's probably gonna be good and it's probably not gonna scare me as much as I think. Oh, Olivia Blake blurbed it. Alex E. Harrow is an exceptional, undeniable talent. Okay. It says, welcome to Starling House, enter if you dare. I'm just a little scaredy cat. Next up, we have The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I am definitely gonna be reading this one. I love Victoria Aveyard so much. Like, as an author, I just love, she feels at least so available and she shares so much of her knowledge with people who are interested in writing and becoming an author and what the real world of the publishing industry looks like. So I just really wanna start getting into her works. I wanna read this series and I definitely wanna read Realmbreaker, and she's coming out with a pirate adult fantasy called Tempest that I am just for some reason so excited about. Like, I don't know anything about the plot other than the book is gigantic. The book is like a Bible, but I just kind of want to catch up and read a lot of her stuff before that releases. So it's time. And then lastly, for fantasies, I have Throne of Glass. Everybody knows Throne of Glass. I've read ACOTAR, but I have not read the Throne of Glass series yet. So I'm just trying to get into it before it gets too spoiled for me online. And then I feel like I can't read it and be excited or like surprised. So this is the year of reading Throne of Glass. Let's see. Organize a little bit. Let's see, how can I? I would say that's pretty good. And there is some space for a couple of random extras I can throw in there, so let's do that now. So behind me are the books that kind of didn't match this season, but that I'm also really excited to read. So since I have some more space, I'm gonna throw in a couple extras. All of these are Emily Henry. We have 1 Alex Astor, 2 Sally Rooney's, and then 3 more Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm just trying to go off of my gut, like what am I most interested in reading? I think Happy Place, just because so many people talk about it. I'm gonna add this one. Summer in the City, just because I want to see what Alex Astor does for romance, contemporary romance, after reading the Lightlark series. That's just so different. So I'm like interested to see that. I feel like I should pick Carrie Soto is Back because I always avoid books that have sports in it. Always, always, always. And I feel like that holds me back because there's a lot of good books that have sports in it and I don't know why I do that. So I'm gonna throw this one on there because I've heard this story is really good. And I don't know why, I'm just gonna do Malibu Rising and Beach Read because the covers are really interesting. Like, they just draw me in. So I'm just gonna throw these in there as well. And the rest will go back on my bigger bookshelf for when I read a couple of these and it's time to refill. So here is what my final TBR cart looks like. Okay, so now that we've done the labor intensive part, before this, I actually did so much research on the prompts because I was like, how are people thinking of all of the prompts for TBR jars? I've watched these videos so many times, but like, you know, when you have to think about something, that's the moment you have not a single thought, like you can't form anything. So I was extra. So I did a lot of research and now I have so many prompts. There's more. So many prompts. And this is my jar. There's no way they're all fitting in this, right? So I'm just gonna read these very quickly because there's so many of them so that you guys know what to expect in my future videos and what prompts we have like even the option for. So let's speed read through these and hopefully it gives you some ideas. First, we have prettiest cover on the TBR. Hopefully if I fold them up twice like this, they'll all fit. Starts with the letter, what? Oh, starts with letter in random letter generator. That's fun. A book that doesn't match the season. Frustrating. Less than 300 pages. A debut novel, a color in the title, random color generator for cover. And then I have a lot like pink on cover, blue on cover, black on cover, just like different colors. I'm not gonna read each and every color to you. And then I have every genre like sci-fi, YA, romance, fantasy, historical, like that. And then I have some like the biggest book on the TBR, one that won a Goodreads Choice Award, a book I've been avoiding, a title or an author's name that is hard for me to pronounce, a book set in a place that I've been, a book set in a place that I haven't been, a reread that I liked, something that matches my outfit, an author that I've never read before, over 350 pages, under 300 pages, lowest rated, 5-star prediction, 3-word titles, 4-word titles, recommended by a friend or a booktuber. So I feel like you get the point. There's too many to read them all individually, but I will let you enjoy the satisfaction of me putting every single one in this jar. Well, that was satisfying, but my jar is definitely too small because I can't even shuffle it. Let's fix that. Good news, I bought my husband a sourdough starter kit for Christmas. So I'm stealing the jar. Way better. Now we can actually shake it up. Perfect. Okay, you guys, so that is it for this video. Thank you for spending time with me on this silly little date we had. I just wanted to do this finally and have my TBR situation more set up. So now going into January, I actually feel prepared to do my TBR jar picks my reads for January video. So expect to see that one next. And thank you so much for spending time with me. I will see you in the next video.